every great journey begins with a single bold step. And today is that step. Let's rise, strive, and make it count.
Good evening, one and all. Welcome to this momentous occasion of learning. I am Pranav Srivastava, Student Manager at Balaji Institute of Technology and Management.
And I, Ishtada Dubey, Student Manager at Balaji Institute of Technology and Management,
Will be your masters of ceremony for today.
We will ensure that every aspect of this event unfolds seamlessly.
I'd like to welcome you all to Ignite Spark Potential lecture series. Our guest for today is a remarkable individual who made an impact through his journey. It is indeed an honor to have Mr. Sumit Sachdeva sir, who is a true corporate leader and a visionary. May I request Sundaram and Khushi to welcome our guest of honor.
Sir, for us to thrive in a very competitive world, Sri Balaji University Pune has an excellent academic program with inbuilt rigor and resilience.
Would also like to extend our greetings to Chancellor Sri Balaji University Pune, Professor Paramanandan Balasubramanian Sir, Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. G.K. Shirude Sir, Deans, Directors, Deputy Directors, faculty members, and to all our students, managers.
Discipline, dedication, and determination are the three values on which Sri Balaji University Pune provides career specific contemporary education with strong emphasis on practical training and overall development of the students.
Sri Balaji University Pune is proud of its constituent institutes, namely Balaji Institute of Modern Management BIMM, Balaji Institute of Technology and Management BITM, Balaji Institute of International Business BIIB, Balaji Institute of Management and Human Resource Development BIMHRD, Balaji School of Arts and Sciences, Balaji School of Law, which produced exceptional student managers.
The prestigious Times of India B School Survey has ranked Sri Balaji University Pune as top 12 B schools in India and ranked top 4 among private universities. Sri Balaji University is known for its 100% placement records as more than 300 companies visit our campus for internships and placements. The intense grooming and the maximum learning our record have enabled our student manager to emerge as a leader in the corporate world.
On this gracious occasion, we fondly remember our founder, late Professor Dr. Colonel A. Balasubramanian Sir, for his vision to impart quality education to the youth of our country.
As we deep dive into the realm of learning, prepare to be inspired, uplifted, and driven to new heights as we unlock the limitless potential within ourselves and embrace the transformative power of knowledge.
May I request our student manager Om Saxena to introduce our guest.
Thank you, Pranav. Good evening, everyone. I, Om Saxena, student manager at Balaji Institute of Technology and Management, Shri Balaji University, Pune. Am honored and privileged to introduce our esteemed guest, Mr. Sumit Sachdeva, sir, Senior Director at Ecolite, Pune. Mr. Sachdeva brings over 2 decades of experience in IT products and services sector with deep expertise in telecommunications, solution architecture, solution design, product management, and consulting. He has led numerous digital process IT, including OSS, BSS, and network transformation initiatives across B2C and B2B segment in the telecom industry. Known for his strategic insight and innovative approach, Sir is a trusted consultant in telecommunication and digital transformation. We are indeed fortunate to have such an accomplished and inspiring guest with us today. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Sumit Sachdeva, sir, as he shares his invaluable insights. Sir, the stage is all yours.
Just checking. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Thank you. Sorry, I know you all have been in through multiple sessions. So Hopefully you enjoy this one as well. So thank you for having me. Firstly, everyone, professors, directors, chancellors, and the students. Thank you for being here and giving me the opportunity to talk. So what we'll be talking about today is I'll give a brief intro about myself, right? So just my background, a quick one. I'll talk about few minutes about our company, which is Bounteous, right? And then I'll talk about telecom as well as the role that AI is playing. I think none of us, like I don't think anyone can say that we're not using AI or touched by AI these days. So how is AI cutting across telecom? Where is it really, impacting? What is the future looking like? These are the sort of things I'll be talking about. Just stop me if you're not able to hear me properly or if there's an echo. Yeah, thank you. Can we go on presentation mode? Yeah, yeah, that one. Okay, perfect. So, firstly, just a bit about me. So, I'm Sumit Sachdeva. I'm basically from Nagpur, but I've been in Pune for the last 21 years now. And my career has all been in telecom, right? So, I've worked with telecommunication service providers globally, and I've got the opportunity to drive a lot of transformation programs for them. And here, what you're going to see today is how we've managed to do some of those work. And now in Bounteous, the role that I play the role of a telecom consulting lead. What that means is we've got a team of dedicated, hardworking consultants, people who can cut across different roles. So some of them are product managers, some are product owners, some are developers as well, right? Some are more focusing on AI related solution development. Now, I lead that team, but then what work we do is something that I'll talk about in the upcoming slides. The company that you see as, Bounteous. Now, Bounteous, we are not a very big company, right? So I've worked with Infosys, for example, earlier. So you'll see a lot of big names out there. Now, Bounteous, and we were called as Aqualite as well earlier, we are around 5,000, 5,300 people strong, right? Our headquarters are in the US, in Texas, but we have offices in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Gurgaon, and we're about to open office in Pune as well. Now, we are a services company, right? And I mentioned the scale intentionally because what you'll notice as I talk through more on AI is these days, scale is not important, right? How is AI able to augment existing staff, right? How can you have AI as your colleagues? How is agentic AI doing transformations for you? That's something which I'll be focusing on, but I'll come to that in a minute. Now, again, I'll not spend too much time on this, but as a company, as Bounteous, there are numerous areas that we focus on. Of course, the primary one is artificial intelligence, right? Nobody, as I said, we all are dealing with it. And what we do it in this, I'll talk about that. But then we focus on cloud a lot. We focus on experience design as well, right? Because as a company, we are not just into delivering solutions or IT, software development. We are into consulting. We are into experience design, and that's what this indicates. And there are a lot of host of other services, that we focus on. For example, data and analytics. I know that's one of your curriculum as well that you're going to focus on. And I'll talk more about that if anyone has an interest. I can go a bit more deep dive on it. Again, I'll just take one more minute to talk about what the company is. Okay. Now we focus on number of verticals, and I don't think this will be too uncommon to other companies that you might be hearing from, right? So we focus on telecom, obviously. We focus on consumer, logistics, financial services, and so on. And again, just a quick one, some of the logos that we work with as a company. Now, where I come in is the telecom that you see towards the second last. Right? So we work with the likes of Verizon, British Telecom. We work with Vodafone Idea in India. There are a lot of other companies and telcos that we work for. But then I think you'll have these slides for later reference. You can see what other client base do we have. Okay. Now, what are we going to talk about specifically in this session are these topics, right? So Why AI? Why now? Right? Why do we think this is important? And while I'm going to talk more about AI, please bear in mind that it's AI for telco, but then AI is a horizontal. It impacts everything, right? Right from your research to development to launching new businesses. So how does it do that? I'll talk about that. So specifically, what is AI in telcos? What is different there? Some of the use cases and some tools. Now, I don't think anyone or any of you over here needs inputs on which tools to use. I think you all are pretty well read. You might know what tools are already there in the market. But what are some of the tools that we are leveraging, for design, for research, for consulting, for development? I'm going to talk about that as well. And then we'll take some time out for answers. Now, what do we think about AI? AI is obviously everywhere, right? And when I say everywhere, it's even any customers that you'll go and talk to. If you're in the services industry, for example, when you graduate, right, you'll notice that your customers are already using AI and agentic AI and Gen AI, and there are so many terms and details behind the scene, but it's essentially everywhere. It's in every part of the work. Even if you are an IT professional, a lawyer, if you're a designer, right? We were just talking about some use cases on publishing magazines, for example, right? How does that make relevant? So it's everywhere. It's evolving quickly. And why do I say evolving quickly? uh, I think all of us are lagging behind, and I don't mean the people in this room, but as an industry, right? As a country as well. I think every day you'll find out there are 4 new tools launched, right? New solutions coming in quicker than you can start using them. So it's important that we stay up to speed. We keep leveraging learning, right? It's embedded in tools. And what do I mean by that? You must be using tools like Office 365. You might be using WhatsApp. You might be using Facebook. AI is in everything, right? It could be small or tiny LLMs. It could be a research solution that you're using, but it's everywhere, right? And then of course, there are other things that we are doing over this, but I'll come to that. Now, what do we look at AI broadly, right? If I look at the spectrum overall. Now, there are two things, right? I mean, of course, you can have multiple definitions of artificial intelligence, but then something which I really like is AI helps to, get things done, right? How? Getting things done better with AI and then doing better things with AI. There's a small distinction between these terms, right? Now, what do I mean by doing things better with AI? Now, if you look at any company, it does not have to be telco, right? Any company, they will have some products and services they are selling in the market, right? They will have some operations. They might have people who are doing some, I don't know, installation activity or delivering some work or delivering some services. They will also have, a lot of operational work, right? Making sure that other services really working fine, right? You get updates on service down or some issues going on with your service. Somebody is sitting behind the scene and doing that. Now, historically, uh, doing sales and service, how to launch a new product, doing software development or doing operations, it's been done by multiple tools and in a very legacy fashion, if I may say. And what's happening is, and it's something which we are also as a company focusing on a lot, but I think all of you will end up using these things anyway. And what do I mean by that? Using AI for sales and service. Now, you might have seen in the news or in articles everywhere, there are new solutions, new startups launching every day, right? Using AI. How is that possible? Because doing a quick research, setting up a business model, right? Thinking about what new unique offerings, doing partnerships, setting up a store, right? Designing UX, everything is so fast these days, right? And why should any industry get left behind? And that's what we're doing in telecom, right? In telco as well, how to define, or re-innovate your sales processes, your service processes using AI. It's very important, and we are already doing that. Now, this is important for people who are going to be more in that, the consulting, product management, the design space, right? It's something which you will end up using. When I talk about the second one, which is AI for SDLC or software development, right? So you'll have your technology colleagues or people who are more into engineering, right? So there'll be people who are doing design, development, right? Integration, testing, and so on, right? Or even requirements gathering. And what's happening is historically, right? We used to have team of requirement or business analysts, consultants, developers doing this, the actual work, sitting with the clients, doing it in a waterfall way, agile way, and so on. And now that's already changed. And I'm not going to say it's changing. It's already changed. In our teams, right? Some of the work that we are delivering, there are AI agents who are sitting as colleagues in, next to our people who are doing actual development. And how is that working? Because we are able to train them on the guardrails, we are able to train them on the right technologies, right? So SDLC is already been augmented by a lot of tools, and you'll have examples in the market. Like you can use Copilot for doing software development, for example, right? You can use Chat GPT, Perplexity, Gemini for doing your requirements and research work, and it's being adopted in enterprises already. And for operations, right? So operations for us is also very important. That's where most of the cost goes, right? So if you look at the way the telco market is, right? If you guys end up in the telco space, for example, right? And it's true for other industries. Now, the most common driver for transformation in telcos is cost optimization. What that means is, it's too expensive for me to run my business, to run services, right? How do I optimize my cost? And why that? Because as you can see, the telecom industry, right? The charges for your phone plans are so cheap, right? Data is almost free. You can do everything over these cloud tools. Now, because of that, there has always been a pressure on telcos to be able to optimize. And that optimization comes from cost. That's what we mean over here, right? Doing operations better using AI. Why do we need a team of 100 people sitting in a call center taking calls and tracking metrics from the network? You can do that using agentic AI solutions. Now, the other perspective of it, right? Doing better things with AI. Now, what does that mean? Of course, there'll always be, sort of a threat that is AI taking away jobs? Is, AI replacing people? Now, I don't think, we should look at it that way, because any technology can do the same. When automation systems came in, workflow automations came in, we had the same challenge, right? We had people being replaced by workflow automation systems, right? Now, what that means is when a new technology comes in, we have to figure out what's the best way to leverage it. What is the new thing that we can do? And that's what we mean by doing better things with AI, right? So if you're able to do a prototype development in minutes, right? Like we are able to use Lovable, Replit, and so many tools out there to do prototype development in few minutes. What does that mean is we have time to think about what now, right? Earlier, most of our time as IT companies used to be in how do I develop something, right? It might take 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, right? Complex, hire people, train them, enable them. Now what happens is the development or building solutions is easy. What to build, right? Thinking what to build or your original point of view, that's more important. And that's what takes time. Right? Anybody can build any system out there. Just point them to a website and AI can build it for you. But then having a unique perspective, having a point of view of what you should build, that's important. And that's what we mean over here, right? Thinking about AI or agentic AI based native offerings, right? So at the heart of it, a solution which has AI embedded in it. And these are the things I implore all of you to think about. Because when you are out, when you once you've completed your degree, right? Of course, the learning year will be, super important, right? You have to go through it. You have to do it diligently. But what you have to prepare yourself for is what was, very common. The roles which were very common earlier, they're going to change. Right? You are not going to be landing up in the similar job descriptions as today. Your jobs are going to change. What is that change, right? Can I think about new services that could be launched? Can I think about new ways of doing business? That is what you all should think about. That point of view is important, right? And again, happy to discuss more on that if there's any interest with anyone, right? So that's what we mean by AI native offerings. And then new business models. Now, I don't know, are any of you aware about agentic AIs and orchestration on agentic AIs? Show of hands, anyone? Yeah, you know about agentic AI, right? Great. Okay, now if you don't, I think you might all end up reading about it anyway. But it's simple, right? So AI is a system which can do some work for you. You ask it, it'll do work for you. What happens with an agentic AI is it's an agent, right? So it can do some decisions independently. You can give it some objective, some context, it will work on its own. Now, the concept here, like a business model, so I'm not trying to give you ideas for a solution, just telling you that we thought about something called as agent marketplace. Now, it's something which does not exist today. It's not something which was, a need also so far. Now we are talking about a marketplace where you could just pick and choose AI agents and, delegate tasks to them. Now it's an example of a new way or, better things to do with AI. So through this, you can monetize, you can, build something new. And the reason I'm calling out this example is these are the thought process that you might need once you are, outside tomorrow, or if you want to start your own business, right? Or if you want to develop your own solutions. Okay, now this one, the slide is a bit text heavy, right? So I'm not gonna read through everything here. You can always have a look at it later. But what it says is, it's this slide talks about the way engineering or IT industry is changing overall, right? And it's not just for telco, just to reiterate, it's for any industry, right? Any industry you go into, it'll be a product or service that you're selling, right? There'll be an engine behind it to build it, to develop it, to sell it, to have operations against it, and then to measure success and all that, right? Now, what's happening is the way the business is changing is the ideation to prototyping is happening very quickly. So earlier, when we used to think of building something, it used to take us, as I was saying earlier, it used to take us weeks or months or years, right? Now, the ability to show your idea to someone. Let's imagine that you have a unique idea that you want to pitch as a business owner yourself, or maybe for someone that you're working for. Now, earlier you used to create detailed PowerPoint slides, right? You'll write it in Word documents, you'll write text, and you'll go on meetings and all. But how about having a working prototype quickly created in few minutes, right? And that's what we are doing, right? We are able to create working prototypes very fast. The challenge, however, is everyone is able to do that, right? So what is your unique offering? Anyone you'll talk to, they'll be able to do the same. So where is your unique offering? But anyway, the good thing is that you have to realize that the starting point is everyone can build any solution these days. The second one, AI as a colleague, right? So the nomenclature, right? That what does it mean? Now, the it's not just IT software solutions that is changing. It's also the enterprise itself. And I say enterprise, it's the companies itself. So we are working with one of our customers where they have a problem that I employ multiple product managers. We employ hundreds of developers. We have hundreds of testers. Now, what should my enterprise look like in the next 2 to 3 years, right? How many people should be there? How should it be augmented by AI? Should it be something else? Now, what you have to keep in mind is the question is not should I fire people, right? The question is how does my landscape change? What is my enterprise of the future? And our answer to that, right, the way we are working on it is the enterprise of the future. You can't shy away from AI, right? It is supposed to be there. But think of it as a colleague who's joining your team, right? People who are working as designers, as strategists, right? As builders, as operators, right? People who are working in your teams anyway. Now, what we are doing is we are augmenting your existing teams, your existing roles by agents. Of course, day one, right? There'll not be 100% confidence. You would not expose an AI agent on day one to do all your services you're bidding for you, right? There's a lot of hallucinations. There is a lot of challenges in the way AI solutions are done. And I don't want to go into technicals, but I think a lot of you might already know, right? There are challenges in these solutions. So what that means is you still need that human oversight. You still need people to be able to say yes to a decision that yes, this is the right answer, this is the right solution, this is the right pitch. But the mindset has to change. And most enterprises out there are already thinking about it. So I don't think even I or you all should be surprised if the enterprise where you work or do your own work in the future, you'll have these colleagues anyway with you. What you'll have to think about is how do I work with them, right? What does that mean? How do I trust them? How do I share data with them, right? And that's something, these are the challenges that we are talking about. Our challenge is not that will AI, be there in the enterprise. That's a given. It's the answer is yes. But how should it be introduced? How should it be used? Right? That's what we are focusing on. Now, why should all of this matter to you, right? It should matter to you because we've seen the benefits, we've seen the results, right? So we know that the time to value is very fast these days, right? We know that the efficiency is getting improved. And Again, efficiency could be improved because people are working from home, as we were just discussing. Efficiency could also improve because people have better tools at their disposal. And earlier, the better tools could be a laptop, right? Because people used to have desktops and other solutions earlier, right? So the technology has changed. So there are better tools out there. You'll have your Microsoft Copilot, for example, who can guide you on writing emails, right? It can guide you on how to, I don't know, summarize a particular document, right? So it's easy to use such tools, right? So efficiency should improve. Just one caveat that I'll probably call out, and Professor Geetu and I, we were just talking about it. So what we're noticing is these tools are there. People have started to use the tools, but the problem is people have stopped thinking, right? So AI is not a replacement for thinking, correct? We have to still think. We have to use our brains. We have to play back what we've actually understood, right? So I'm not saying that because you're all our students, right? I'm saying that for everyone, even for my team, for my company. It's easy to start relying on tools and making it, do your decisions. But then where's your learning in that, right? So don't make yourself replaceable. Make sure that use these tools for augmenting your work, right? Make sure that you're using tools to actually get the efficiency, but stay on top of it, right? You should understand the domain. You should understand what you are working on, what you are delivering, right? So that's very important. Now, there are some examples of how we are seeing AI specifically in telco, right? Now, telco is huge, right? So, and telco is legacy, right? Telco is a very heavy legacy industry. There's a lot of baggage that the industry carries. Now, what that means is change comes difficulty, right? So, if you look at some of the other industries like retail or consumer, for instance, it's very easy to think of a new product line, launch a new business offering, right? Launch a new delivery app, for example, use AI in that. But what happens in industries like telco, in industries like banking and finance, right? It's that there's a legacy of systems, there's a legacy of people. Most people that you'll talk to in these industries, right? They'll be 15, 20, 30, 40 years in the same industry. What that means is they have their own baggage, their own legacy that they are carrying, right? So so it's what that means is telco is evolving, right? We are leveraging AI, but then what are the use cases? What are the new things that we are trying to do despite all the baggage? Are some of these examples, right? For example, I'll talk about some of them. For example, going from automation to autonomy. Now, I was talking about this earlier, right? So automation is not new, right? So when workflow automations and automation systems came in, everyone was, it's a massive change, right? But these days, automation is simple. You can automate your campaign rollout. You can automate something like sending out an email, writing a document, doing a research, right? All of that. But then you don't really have, the system does not have the autonomy capability. What we are trying to do in telco is bringing some autonomy as well in the network. So some examples like offer targeting, fraud detection, right? Now, I'll just take one example, right? So we used to monitor the alarms, events from the network to say which services are getting impacted. For example, you might be getting these messages, right, that your service might be down for next few hours. How is that happening? Because there's some event from the network which is getting pushed to somewhere, and there's an intelligence that send out a note to these customers that their service might be impacted. Now that it looks simple, but there's a lot of manual work, systems, there's a lot of legacy behind this. What we are trying to do is building simple AI layers on top. Pull this information from the network, push it to the user automatically, keep a track of how the user is behaving, right? And that's the way it's happening for all use cases, right? I'll take one more. So we were talking about all the good things, right? That what can it do, how things are better. But if we look at the AI governance or regulation, this is where we are noticing the challenges as well, right? How should we focus on cyber security now, for instance, with AI coming in, right? Should we be more aware? Because data, it's very easy for data to get exposed, right? Today, as students, right, or people who are just starting in their career, maybe it's easy, right? We can always use some tools, expose some data. It's okay, right? But then moment you are handling sensitive data, moment you are working in an enterprise, right, it's very easy for your data to get exposed somewhere, right? We don't know where the data is going. We don't know how it's being used. It might be getting used to train some LLM. It might be just getting exposed and sold somewhere off. So regulations, governance, right, cyber security, these are in fact the fields which are going to be more important than AI in tomorrow's future, right? So in fact, I think even if you do some research, you'll find out that in the space of IT, right, cybersecurity anyway is the top trend, right? So why is that? Because the threats are increasing, the size of the threats are increasing, and in telco, again, because we handle sensitive data, we have been focusing this on a lot. So I'll not go through everything over here, right? So let me talk through some more. Just a quick time check. Are we okay still? I know we started late. Okay. Okay. Now, I'll talk about some more things which may or may not resonate with you immediately, right? But when you are working in a company, or if you've already worked in a company and then you've come here, right? These things might resonate. Now, when we started looking at AI, it was all experimentation, right? And that's true with any technology. In telecom, we've seen so many changes, right? So many tools, IT processes, everything has come and gone. And everything starts with experimentation, starting with proof of concept, something small, and then we scale, right? Now, what does that mean, right? So the whole concept of from pilot to production is that how are we able to move from something as small as doing a proof of concept like a prototype, and how we will go to the next stage, right, to a production. I'll take an example of strategy, right? So how do we integrate into our business strategy? Now, I spoke about this earlier. It's easy to say that or maybe I'll give my company as an example, right? So in Bounteous, we know everyone has to adopt AI, right? So we started using some of these tools. We started leveraging Copilots, Amazon Q, Perplexity, Gemini, all the tools that you can see, right? The challenge was, how do I make sure that it's used responsibility? How do we make sure that we have a strategy of using it, right? How do we make sure that the people are trained for doing that, right? Now, so we had to go through a lot of effort to introduce the tools, right? Introduce our strategy on how to use the tools despite of challenges. We built our own training programs, right? And I'm sure you will have trainings for AI as well, right? So our training programs, what tools, how to build, what to build. So there's a lot of strategy that goes into it. Now think about it from going to full production, right? I'll take one more example of, let's say, enterprise integration, right? Now, doing just a strategy, doing just a prototype is simple. But then saying that I'll integrate AI into my overall strategy, right? It will play an important role in bringing customers in looking at the network, looking at alarm data and all, right? It's not easy. And how do we do that? That is a challenge, right? And that those are the sort of problems that we all will have to focus on if you're not already, right? So these are the challenges that we are focusing on. How do we make sure on enterprise integration? How do we look at ROI? Now, ROI optimization in the second point there is very important because, like with any other tool, right? Enterprises are getting lost in some way in adoption, right? Okay, it's a buzzword. Everyone should adopt the best tools out there, but the usage comes at a cost, right? There are API-based charges. There are charges for almost everything that these AI tools have. There are sustainability challenges as well, right? How do we make sure that these AI models that we are using, how are they trained? How much power are they consuming, right? Where are you setting up the data centers? Where is the cost for doing that, right? So there are a whole lot of constraints and issues that we have to think about. But then the question is, how do I look at my return of investment? So I'll be putting so much effort into bringing tools into my enterprise. How do I make sure that I actually get benefits out of it? Hello. Okay. So how do I get benefits is the key question. And that's something which, most of our customers are asking us. It's easy for people, companies like Bounteous or TCS or anyone, right? It's easy for us to go and talk to our customers and say, we can implement AI for you. We can do this for you. We can do that for you. But the key question we are asked, and which is the actual challenging question is, where are the benefits, right? Benefits can come in multiple fashions. It could be, I'll help reduce the cost for you. It could mean that I'll help you launch new service offerings. It could be that today you're spending X amount and I'll bring that cost down for you, right? So some of the deals that we are doing exactly focus on these things. And these are the areas that we'll have to start focusing on as well as people who go into the corporate world. Okay. Now, these that you see here are specific examples of telecom where we've already used AI, right? There are other examples as well, right? Which again, happy to connect later. But I'll just talk about some examples to give you a spectrum, right? That where all are we seeing an adoption? If you look at the first one, right? Service Assurance 360. I mean, the name has a jargon feel to it, but think about service assurance, right? How do you do service assurance? Any industry, right? You sell a product, you sell a service, you have to make sure it's working. You have to keep a track of how is the service performing, track the metrics, right? Keep a track of customer communications, letting people know on time. If there are tickets raised, make sure they are closed on time, right? Resolution is there. Now, Service Assurance 360, the concept that we've already done for one of our customers, is why do we have so much operational headache in doing such a thing? Now we built some AI solutions for our telco customers where they are able to use conversational solutions like a chat GPT, right? But for service assurance. So you're able to just talk to a solution to say, I've received a ticket, how do I solve it, right? Or the ability to automatically pull all the data for the customer, show it in one place to your agents, right? To your customer agents, and then show them solutions to solve that quickly as well, right? That's the kind of things that we focus on. I'll take one more example here. So, for example, testing automation, right? Now, some of the case studies that you see here are more about talk to your data, right? Make sure sales and service are optimized using AI. Testing is a software development word, right? So you do testing for your applications and services. Now, what happens is people who've already been in the workforce, right? They'll understand that like development, testing has a lot of nuances behind it. You'll have to write test scripts, right? You'll have to write test cases, execute test cases, manual or automated. You'll have to understand the domain, right? What are you testing, right? And that these things take a lot of time. Now, what companies struggle with, be it product companies or service companies, is if I launch a new feature tomorrow, how do I make sure that A, of course, it's built and developed and rolled out quickly, but make sure that the assurance, quality assurance is done quickly, right? How can I make sure that I click off a button, right? Like every ask, like click off a button, I should be able to just say that, the assurance is, the quality is perfect. Now, what we've done here is we've built some solutions which are all AI driven. As soon as you roll out a feature, it will automatically write test cases, execute test cases, show you the results, do a performance test, and so on. Now, the terms that I just mentioned, you don't have to understand them all now, but these are the terms or work that any typical tester, QA, test architect will do. And those are the things that we are bringing into tools like AI. Okay, so I'll probably not take more time on the case studies here. Okay, now some tools, right? Again, as I said before, I don't think anyone needs to be told what tools are out there in the market, right? You can always Google and figure out. But these are some examples. And again, responsible usage, right? So market research, for example, right? So Perplexity, and there are other tools in the market. And the way we've rolled this out is just for you to get a teaser. If you've not used tools like these already, I'll encourage that use it in your spare time, right? A side project. Think about these as think about some innovative project that you are building, some solutions that you are building. Go end to end with this, right? Think about some markets research using a tool like Plexity, right? Just pick a use case, right? If something is closer to your heart, right? So it could be about delivery, it could be about pharmaceuticals, it could be something for agriculture, right? Think about a use case, do your research. If you have an excellent concept as an output of the research, build a prototype, right? Now we've been using tools like Lovable and Replit. Now what they do is you can just give the right context, right? Prompt engineering, and then be able to have quick prototypes working quickly. What that will do for you is you'll be able to visualize your research, the thought that you had. Then think about copying it to chat base, right? Think about doing some copywriting using Claude. Now, what that will enable you is it will give you a feel of how a real business sets up copywriting, how it sets up communication for the customers, right? look at product design, presentations, right? PRDs. Now, the tools are out there, and of course, this is not an exhaustive list, right? For every context, for every work that you want to do, there are different tools in the market, right? And the intention to show these tools is not that you might not be already aware of them. You might be. The only thing I'm imploring all of you is, uh, think about these tools, think about what's already out there, and these are the baseline. So when you enter into the work, the corporate world or work, right? Uh, there will be people, your competitors, your users who will already be using tools. So I'm not saying that replace your study with tools, right? Please study properly, but then make sure that you know how to make the best use of technology out there. And AI is similar such technology, right? So we should know how things better with AI. Okay. Now I'll take a pause for question and answers if there's anything, or if you want me to, if there's any feedback, anything that you want me to cover a bit more on, I'm happy to do that as well. Thank you.
Now the house is open for questions.
And I know it's end of the day. Hopefully you all get to rest after this. But yeah, if you have any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Sir, my name is Kashish Kashwan, a student manager at Balaji Institute of Technology and Management. And my question is in the telecom industry, how do companies ensure responsible use of AI, especially when dealing with customer data?
Yeah, thank you, Kashish. Good question. And it's something which has been keeping us up because we do have an ask that, we should use AI, we should bring efficiency using AI. But you are right. It's a challenge. How do we make sure data is correct, right? Now, there are multiple ways to do it. There's a lengthy answer, but there's a short answer, right? The things that we have to take care of is how do we manage customer data, in the proper way, right? So most tools that you see out there in the market, right? Yeah, they are connected to the internet, for example, right? Now, the first thing that we have to do is we need trained models, right? We need to train the model, right? AI models, but train them on the enterprise's particular context. For example, if this Airtel, who has asked for an implementation, you need your AI models to be tuned to Airtel, be able to answer and understand context of Airtel, but then not the other way around, right? It should not take content from here or train the model itself on Airtel's content and take it outside, right? So there are ways to control it. We are able to manage that, but then there are a lot of checks and balance we have to keep in place throughout the process. Like I spoke about researchers, right? So there could be a researcher role in your company. They have to do analysis from other competitors, right? How to build a new product faster. What is Geo doing, for example, and feed that into Airtel. But it has to be a controlled use. And these are the guardrails that we set up as IT companies, right? For our customers. We tell them how will we adopt it properly? What guardrails will we bring in when we implement them?
We are about to close the house with one last question.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Hi.
Sir, I am Ayush Gupta, Junior Student Manager at BMHRD. Sorry, Senior Student Manager at BMHRD. And so my question is, like as you have said, you can have efficiency with the better tools, but sir, better tools cost is very high. Like if I want to learn any tool, like for the sales and services, so sir, what can be the good thing to learn, like good app and platform to learn these things? Because sir, it is everyone like every tools I ask for subscription or payment. Sir, if you can.
Yeah. So your context, just to clarify, it's more about learning, right? How do I learn about the tools? How do I make best use of it? Right? Now, see, sorry, I'll give you a broader answer first. As with any learning, there are ways to do it cheaper. Right? You can always go and go for an expensive Coursera course or an upgrad course, for example, and learn tools. But there are free ways to do it on YouTube, right? I mean, I'm giving a generic answer, but I'll come to your question. Now, how do I do leverage AI and understand tools for sales and service? Now, again, if you need a specific answer, start with anything that's free. For example, recently I got Perplexity Pro on free on Airtel Thanks, right? Just an example, right? And I think a lot of the Airtel customers here might be receiving it as well, or you can claim it if you don't have it. Now, what that means is you can use such tools, right? Or freely available tools, free tier version also to do your research. Like I mentioned about having a problem in mind, right? Like agriculture, pharmaceuticals, telecom, right? Use your free tools to first do your research, right? Think about what is that unique thing that you want to talk about, right? What are the challenges? You can always research on what are the top challenges in telcos in India, in UK, in Europe, right? Where is the most cost spending happening? And then through your research, you can come to some hypothesis, right? That how can I improve services better even with these impediments in there, right? Now, to do that, you don't really need paid versions, right? When you need paid versions is when you are in an enterprise, in a corporate, right? You will be doing integrations, you'll be doing a lot of heavy lifting over there, deep research work, right? I don't think to learn, you need that, right? But then again, if you have my coordinates, get in touch with me. I can tell you more tools. Just tell me what you want to learn specifically. I can help you with that. Sure. No problem.
Hello, sir. This side. So one last question.
Yeah.
Sir, this side.
Sorry.
In center room.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Good evening, sir. My name is Shubham Sharma. I am from BIMHRD Marketing. Sir, my question is, there is many benefit of AI and most of are explained by you very beautifully. But my question is, what are the hurdles or challenges faced by the organization while launching their digital marketing campaign due to inclusion of AI in current marketing era?
Sure, thanks. So, see, there are multiple challenges. You're right, right? So it's not that everything is beautiful. Now, if I talk about your specific marketing and campaign as an area, right? Any company, imagine a company who's building robots, right? Child-friendly robots, for example, right? And then they want to sell it in the market, or any other example. Now they want to use AI for doing marketing and promotions and campaigning. Now, the major challenge, bias, right? These AI agents are biased, right? When I say bias, it could be trained on data or geography. It might be recommending some products to your customers which are not really for this demography, right? It might be trained on some, I don't know, Latin America, for example, right? How do you make sure that it's giving you the right recommendations? How do you make sure that your marketing campaigns, the way they are designed, they are inclusive in nature, right? They are not biased towards a particular geography, ethnography, or it could be even usage behavior, right? So the challenges that we are seeing is, and it's a broader question is, how do you trust AI? It's not just expose it to customers. We don't completely yet. In fact, most of the examples that you'll see, we are focusing on AI implementations behind the scene first, right? To expose it to the customers, it takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of, fault handling, bias fixing. We make sure the messaging represents the brand. The messaging news next day that the AI gave an answer like this, which is totally unethical. One of our, how do you make sure AI's answers are not? But there are ways to control that.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. I am Gaurav from marketing from BITM itself. Sir, as you said in your previous slide, uh, a topic AI itself, as we shouldn't totally rely on AI, we should use our own brain as well. So, in reality, sir, it is happening. Like for any situation or any problem, we simply we don't want like put more efforts from our brain or something like that. So, sir, for Sir, a power laptop is simply to open a project or you can say gamma. So this is the only meant of the app. So sir, my question is whether like where we are heading towards in the current situation, a better AI world or something else which we can't see in like current situation.
Yeah. No, thanks. It's a good question, and it's something which bothers, I think, everyone. Even if it's not bothering some people today, it will happen, right? It's bound to happen. Now, see, the question is much wider, obviously, right? Uh, Earlier, when we thought AI is coming, right, we thought AI will come and do automations, take away the grunt work, right? So, work that we want to do, that will be done using AI. What's happening is actually the other way around. It's taking the creative roles first, right? The thinking part first, right? Now that comes at a challenge, right? Now, and it's happening in our teams, in my relatives, everyone, and it's a conscious effort we have to take, and that's the reason why I mentioned, right? It's easy to get away, swept away by the tools, and so much so that we are not questioning the output also, right? We are just directly consuming what is coming from the AI, similar to like us reading a news article, right? If you get a news article or a news update on your phone, you might just think it's genuine and just go ahead with it, right? But it takes a conscious mind. You'll have to do some fact finding, check it on some other website, and then make sure is it actually correct. Same thing we'll have to do with the output of AI, be it marketing content, research content, or even if you're using AI for doing coding, right? Like, I mean, of course, studying, I will not recommend. When you're working, it's bound to happen that you'll be using some copilot, some assistant tools to do your coding. What's happening today is people are forgetting the logic, right, that they put in. People are forgetting the functionality for the first place. Now, and it is happening irrespective of whether we want it or not. The answers to that, we don't think is we have to start being more mindful, more cautious. Right. So we were talking about people not over here, right? But then there are people who can use it for creating documents and all, for example. It's easy, right? You can do that. But then the challenge is that if you were asked to talk about it, or if you have to use it in your real life, in your work, in your experience, right? Not do the grunt work. It's not enough, but it's a simple recommendation that use tools to be your second brain, right? Don't use it as your primary brain. Use it as a secondary brain, ask it to do things, right? But then use your brain to go through it. There'll be a lot of times you'll find out that the output is actually rubbish, right? So you'll have to make your own mind. Brain is important. Use it as a secondary brain for any purpose, research, development, anything. But then make sure you understand what it has done and you ask it the right questions, then only use it.
We are about to close the house.
May I now invite Dr. Shubhashi Sensor, Professor, Balaji Institute of Technology and Management, to felicitate our guest of honor with a token of appreciation.
May I now call upon the stage our student manager Mridula Naidu to put forward a vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. I, Mridula Naidu, student manager at Balaji Institute of Technology and Management, Sri Balaji University, Pune, am truly honored to extend my heartfelt appreciation to our distinguished guest of honor, Mr. Sumit Sachdeva, for gracing our university. Have broadened our understanding and encouraged critical thinking. So, your contribution to shaping future leaders is invaluable. Allow me to underscore the salient insights distilled from this enlightening session. Sir has aided us in expanding our knowledge about artificial intelligence, from the evolving nature of AI to the importance of implementing such technology to enhance our productivity. Sir has enriched us with such crucial information and many more. Let this be the catalyst for future ventures. With deep gratitude, we celebrate the success of today's session, knowing that your inspiring and motivating thoughts will resonate in our endeavors, propelling us to new heights. We are grateful for your generosity in sharing your time and expertise with us today. Wishing everyone a great evening.
Sorry, ma'am.
Thank you and have a great evening.